Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Siriani Sports. And today we have a different way to start off the show. I'm Lou, he's Sir, and we're the losers.
That's not true.
Well, this week we were. This week we
You
were.
for long.
Anyway,
You for longer than me.
welcome to Siriani Sports. What up, everybody? I hope you all are having a good night. I'm Matt Siriani, and I have a special family announcement after the show. But Ryan Barron Jr. is the Abby's clown right now because the Jets won. How you doing, Ryan?
Oh, good, Maddie. Victory Mondays. You as a Giant fan wouldn't experience many of them this year.
You're a jerk.
Listen, dude, when they come along, it's good. When I don't got to wear the Just Endure the Suffering shirt, it makes me feel a lot better on a Monday. Then I can actually wear like jet-related gear and not a shirt that says Just Endure the Suffering. So that's always a dub. But no, I'm excited. But listen, dude, the world of sports it's taking a turn, dude. Baseball, hockey starting this week. Basketball is within the month.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. And then football obviously is king. But dude, we're getting to that prime time, dude. We go through the whole summer where it's just nothing. And then we get to like October, November, December, where it's just everything.
Yes. Everything will go on over the course of the fall and the winter. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So I know we had a little bit of a rant / banter last week about injuries and the turf monster and all that good stuff.
Listen, bro, it's still a thing. It's still coming.
Yeah. Well, it came this week. So for those of you who kept track of the amount of injuries there were this week, let me read several of them off to you. Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings will be placed on IR with a strained hamstring. He's out for at least 4 weeks, but he'll probably be out longer. Devon Achane of the Miami Dolphins is out 2 to 4 weeks with a knee injury. Elijah Vera Tucker out for the season with a torn Achilles. Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts is out 4 to 6 weeks with a shoulder injury, something about his AC joint. James Conner of the Arizona Cardinals out for X amount of weeks with a knee injury. Matt Milano is out for the season with a broken leg. Travis Kelce suffered a low ankle sprain, uncertain to play on Thursday night because it's a short week. And among other injuries that happened this week. And then the people who are coming back were injured recently. So it's really a two-way street with these injuries. You're going to come back after a long absence, and ultimately you might not be the same. But anyway, I know what you're going to say when asking this question. What injury stinks the worst across the NFL?
Oh, this week?
This week, from all the injuries that happened this week, which one was the worst?
Easily
as far
Matt
as impact.
Milano. Easily Matt Milano.
Yeah.
If you watch that Buffalo Bills defense at all, right, and I see them a lot, being a Jet fan, watching kind of the Bills like every week, Matt Milano is like the heart and soul of that defense, and he's probably a top 3 linebacker in football. It's like Fred Warner, him, and then like everybody else. So seeing him like go down, and we saw what happened once he went down, that the Jacksonville offense really started kicking up. Like they ran all over them once Matt Milano was out of the game.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see how that works. Because now the Bills are down their 2 best players on defense, and Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano back to back, done for the whole year, which definitely sucks. But did you hear what happened with Emmanuel Mosley?
What happened to him?
So he played his first game last week again after coming back from his torn left ACL. His first game back, he tore his right ACL. Done. Sucks. I can't believe it.
That's horrible.
That is awful.
That's horrible. So honestly, we need to discuss this a little bit further. I know we touched on it a lot last week. That's why I made a 2-part episode. But injuries are really starting to creep up, and I think the turf is probably the cause of it. Look at how Travis Kelce went down. He went down like he got shot in the lower back.
I can't believe that was a low ankle sprain. Seeing what happened to him, I thought that was minimum 4 weeks. It looked like Saquon's hot. First off, I thought it was like an ACL or an Achilles, right? From first glance, non-contact, oh God.
Yeah.
Right? When you hear about the ankle, oh God, high ankle sprain, that's usually IR, that's 4 weeks, right? The fact that it's only a low ankle sprain for Kelce is crazy. And I don't remember if they said it, Maddie. Was this the same ankle, the same leg that he injured before week 1?
Yeah.
Is it the same ankle?
Yes, the same ankle.
Yeah, we saw what happened to them last time on Thursday night when they didn't have Travis Kelce.
That's right. But now they play the Broncos, which should be easier, but that's not the point. The point is...
Yeah, but still, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. It really, really, really is. But what I am gonna, and then we'll go through the other injuries. Anthony Richardson. I hate to say this to you, but welcome to the club. So, I hate to be that guy, but seriously. But like that thing, like shoulder injuries suck. They really, really do. Ask me. I've injured both my shoulders. But for him, like he's a mobile quarterback and he's been getting pounded. He's missing games. And good thing for the Colts, they got Jonathan Taylor back and Gardner Minshew's playing well. But like this is a shame. And I remember one of the things about Anthony Richardson coming out of the draft was that he's fragile because he hasn't played a lot of games. And now we're starting to see the downfall of it early on in his career. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, but I mean, this kind of sucks for the Colts because they want to see their young quarterback perform well. And when he's on, he has performed well. The problem is he can't stay on the field. So what are you going to do long term with this guy? Give him a contract? Probably not.
Listen, dude, we've seen it with worse. Dude. The Giants were about to pay Saquon this year.
Oh yeah, and then he tore his he hurt his leg again. It's a high ankle sprain, and now he's not going to be out. He'll probably be out for the Buffalo game. God help me.
Oh yeah, no, Saquon, dude, like there's rumors they might not play Daniel Jones, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't play Daniel Jones, but the way
Oh
this
yeah, because he suffered a stinger in his neck.
dude, unless Andrew Thomas walks through that door tomorrow and says I'm gonna play, I'm not playing Daniel Jones. Like, well, I want the guy to literally die. Like Maddie, like they have turnstiles at every offensive line position.
They do.
Who's the other idiot playing tackle?
Evan Neal.
No, not Evan Neal. The other kid. The kid almost got Daniel Jones literally decapitated.
Yeah.
He
That was bad.
sucks. It's literally Andrew Thomas and John Michael Schmitz. They're two best offensive linemen, and they're not playing.
And everyone else sucks.
So, like, unless, like, not Evan Neal, unless Andrew Thomas is playing Sunday, I wouldn't play Daniel Jones, and I wouldn't play Saquon. Like, it's just not – it's risking too much of, like, I don't know. It's just not, like – I don't know. It's not worth the investment of giving Daniel Jones all that money and then putting him behind this terrible offensive line and then risking Saquon even more than you already are.
Yeah, they made a big financial mistake, the Giants did. They made a huge financial mistake. And now they're in the Caleb Williams conversation. Anyway, moving on. Devon Achane out 2 to 4 weeks with a knee injury. He's a candidate to go on the IR, which would be 4 weeks minimum. This blows for the Dolphins. I mean, it's not like Raheem Mostert's bad, but Devon Achane was explosive out of the gate when he first touched the football. He was fantastic. And now he's on 2 to 4 weeks. I didn't even think he was injured. But now the Dolphins are going to have him for 2 to 4 weeks. But this is kind of impactful because the Dolphins' already explosive offense loses that boost in the backfield. Like I said, Raheem Mostert's not a bad player, but it's just a shame.
Remember, though, they didn't drop 70 with just Devon Achane. And remember, too, Devon Achane also didn't break out until last week. Right? He didn't break out until the Denver Bronco game, right? So those first 3 weeks, they still were winning with Raheem Mostert.
That's right. And they probably would have blown out teams without Devon Achane, but he just came on the scene in very dominant fashion, and now he's gone. But we got to get to the one that really pisses me off the most. Justin Jefferson, please come back soon. Please come back after 4 weeks.
Listen, dude, I told you today. So I was telling Matt earlier today. But if I'm Justin Jefferson, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm not rushing back. Let me say that. Like, you know, like a lot of the time, right, for like playoff caliber teams, right? Like let's just say the Chiefs in general, right? Like, if Travis Kelce plays on Thursday, like he's gonna be playing hurt, right? But like, players don't do that unless you know your team is good or has a chance to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're Justin Jefferson, you're sitting there like, okay, we're 1-4, right? Clearly, we're not winning with me, right? He's like, so why would I rush myself back, right, and risk my body when also remember Justin Jefferson's fighting to be the highest paid receiver in football, right? Which he probably will be, right? But why would he want to put any unnecessarily other injuries on his body, right? Like he already, right, is dealing with the lower leg injury, right? Like, God forbid he tears his ACL or something. Like, we don't like if you're Justin Jefferson, you're sitting there and you're like, there's too many things that can happen wrong for me this year, right? Than good things that can happen for me this year. So that's why I don't think like it could be 4 weeks. I think it may be a bit longer.
Mm-hmm. It might be longer because of the contract dispute because he doesn't have a contract after this year. That was just several of the injuries that we had to touch on. It's just very, very unfortunate for a lot of these guys. And then Matt Milano, we talked about. Anthony Richardson, we talked about. Oh, Elijah Barrett Tucker. I know how mad you were about this one.
I mean, dude, it's dumb luck, right? That he gets a season-ending injury, right, in the same month, in the same city, in the same stadium, it's the same team, right? But like, it's crazy, dude, because like for him, the way his Achilles popped, is I kind of saw the video back now. It was a run play, right? And ABT's running, and his foot gets caught, and somebody falls on him.
Oh,
So that was why. So when his knee went down, his Achilles like went like it was different than Aaron Rodgers, like how he just popped.
yeah.
He's got stuck. His foot got stuck in the ground, and then somebody fell on his leg, and then caused his like leg to like bend up. Like you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like, and then the Achilles came out from there. So it's still the same
oh.
injury, right? But like, it sucks, right? Like, so I'm not gonna lie about it, right? But like, it literally, like, I don't want to go into a rant anymore because I went probably on. I could do this for probably 2 hours, right? Just about like the turf in general, right? But like, dude, like, part of me was sitting there yesterday, and again, like I said, I don't root for injuries for players, right? But a part of me was sitting there, it's like, okay, if Kelsey just tore his ACL, we're getting grass in every stadium.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right, if Kelsey tore his ACL, that falls into the whole Taylor Swift drama, all this nonsense, right? Like we need
Right.
something like so. I'm like, if Kelsey just tore his Achilles or his ACL on that, it's like we really damn well might get grass. And I'm sitting there and it's like it's all I go from. I'm like damn, because like at this point, dude, like it has to happen to the Chiefs. It has to happen to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's the only team that's gonna. It has to happen to Mahomes or Kelsey. Like I don't know who else it can happen to. That's not like where the NFL has even come out and said anything anymore. Like the amount of players that go down every and the NFL isn't like Roger Goodell's come out and said nothing. He said nothing. He's like,
He's
oh,
literally gone silent about this.
like so like that like again, I don't root for injuries, right? I'm not like that much of a twisted, sick human being. Like I just if it's gonna happen, like for the good, like you know when they say take one for the team, like
Yes.
come on, like take one to benefit us for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
I also saw this stat that you know we were talking about yesterday or last week about how much it would cost. So
Yeah.
apparently, again, shout out Twitter, right? But these people on Twitter were saying on average, right, it would cost about $1 million
Wow.
for grass for the whole season.
Okay.
But that's for the whole season. That's for all 16 games.
17.
Or like so, you know what I'm saying? Like so, it's not even that much. Oh, $1 million, Maddie, for owners that are paying people like Maddie, $1 million for the Cincinnati Bengals who just paid Joe Burrow $55 million. Like, I'm sorry, like if you think about it that way, the money you just gave Joe Burrow, you could have saved your field for 55 years. Like that's insane. Like to think about it in that perspective.
So $1 million for the whole season for every stadium?
Yes.
Well, every stadium besides Lambeau Field, because Lambeau Field's the one stadium in the NFL. Maybe there's another one, but I'm not 100% sure.
No,
The
Tennessee
one
had
stadium
grass. Tennessee
that
had
has
grass.
grass.
They changed. Tennessee had grass and they changed.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Lambeau makes sense too, though, with grass because it's so freaking cold down there.
it's cold and it's old. It's an old stadium.
That's why I'm shocked Soldier Field has turf. I'm stunned that Soldier Field has turf.
Oh yeah, because Soldier Field's been around forever too.
That to me is insane. No, because so the Tennessee Titans had grass really up to this year, and they just changed the turf, which is this like really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do.
And for those of you who are wondering, well, if it takes $1 million to put in grass for the whole season, let me give you a little bit of mathematics. It's going to cost a little bit less than $60,000 a game just to put in grass. So yeah, not that much of a bargain at all. Really, it's not.
No, dude, it's insane.
Yeah. Oh boy. But like I said, we're not gonna try and get into a rant about this. We already shot our load last week, so we're not gonna do that again. Anyway, we're gonna get into our week 5 highlights. This is basically our surprise, our disappointment, and our standout because we have a lot of things to discuss. So, Ryan, who was your week 5 surprise of the week?
So my week 5 surprise was the London Jaguars because they have been like not on a downward trajectory, but they've kind of been just very like meh, right? And like when you looked at the Jaguars this year, coming off of last year, like, okay, they just went to the divisional round, right? They barely they could have beat the Chiefs in the divisional round. Like they played a hell of a game. They had one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history against the Chargers, which is still just insane how that coach is still alive, right? But besides,
Yeah.
but then you look at okay, year 4 for Trevor, or sorry, year three for Trevor,
3.
right? Year 2 with Doug Peterson, right? Like you
Mhm.
thought they would take like a bigger jump than they already did, and they kind of started out slow, right? They lost a bad game to the Houston Texans. They arguably could have beat the Chiefs week 2 if Trevor didn't play like absolute garbage.
Mhm.
Right? Then they went to London. They beat the Falcons. Who the Falcons, like big whoop, right? And then it was really this week that kind of said like put I guess the rest of the NFL on notice, be like, all right, like listen, we're still like legit. Like going into the season, we probably had the Jags as like a top 6 team in the AFC, right? We had them winning their division.
Yeah.
It was probably like Buffalo, like the Chiefs. Like we had them up there, right? And I think they're kind of showing, yeah, they're 3-2, so they're not in a terrible spot. But I think they're showing with this win over the Bills, like again, they were compromised, but it's still the Buffalo Bills at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
That they're still a team to be reckoned with. So I'm gonna go with the Jags just because they're showing that they're still legit.
And their 2 weeks in London seem not to be panning out very well for them.
Listen, dude, the London Jags.
The London Jags. So my surprise of this week is the New York Jets because one, Zach Wilson played very well. He, for the most part, he threw the interception to Garrett Wilson, which your father claims Garrett Wilson could have caught the ball. But he played really well. He managed the game. Brees Hall ran for 170 plus yards, getting redemption in this game that he got hurt in last year. The defense played really well. Really not a lot of complaints. They scored 31 points, which, by the way, those of you who don't know, ever since Zach Wilson got drafted in 2021, 31 points against the Broncos was the most points ever in a Zach Wilson start for the New York Jets. I know one of them was a defensive score, but still, you got to take the positives and work off of that. The defense seemed fired up around him, and also for those of you who had the Zach Wilson parlay of over 200 passing yards, God bless you.
Oh, brother, 1 yard. I would have, dude. I would have. Oh, dude, I would have
1
been
yard.
so pissed. All I'm
I
saying,
would've
Brees is back. Brees the Beast is back.
He is back. He's not 100%, but it usually takes 2 years for running back to recover.
Brees the Beast, bro. He's back.
And he looks really good. All right, now for my disappointment of the week, and I know you're gonna love this. It's the New England Patriots.
Oh yes.
They look so horrible.
They look. You know what it is, Maddie? They look jet-like. They look very like jet-like.
And Mac Jones is on another planet. It's just so bad and so embarrassing. And he got benched again.
Did you see what they said? Did you see what the anonymous report out of Mac Jones's camp said?
What did it say?
They're like, I don't care how good like of a chef you are, you can't make anything with shit. And I was like, damn. I'm like, that's crazy. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Mac Jones is terrible. Also, did you hear what Bill Belichick's comments were after the game too?
Oh, we need to start over.
No, not even that. Mac Jones is still QB1 on the depth chart. Like, no, Bill. Like, no, shut up. Like, you don't sit Mac Jones the last 2 weeks. And you're like, he's still our quarterback. Like, no. Also, like, we need to start over. Like, no, no,
We need
Bill.
to start over. Now, I'm honestly over the Belichick hype. Listen, this is the greatest coach of all time, arguably. And to see the fall from grace that the Patriots have had over the last 4 years, it's just been bad. And I know Laurel, if he were on the show, he would defend the Patriots to and from. But I'm sorry, Laurel, I can't defend your team. I can't. They look horrible offensively. Defensively, they look like disheveled because no Christian Gonzalez, no Matthew Judon is a blow to your defense. That's number 2. And number 3, Bill Belichick might lose his GM job and maybe his head coaching job as well. The reason why I'm saying this is because Bill Belichick, the coach, is as great as he is, all good things must come to an end. And I know, like, Bill Belichick, the general manager, listen to this. Bill Belichick, the general manager, from 2000 to 2012, has drafted 9 Pro Bowl or All-Pro players. Since 2013, he's only drafted 2. Matthew Slater and whoever the puncher was that he drafted. So, the Patriots are on a downward spiral. Bill Belichick, the GM, is not it at this point. Bill Belichick, the coach, greatest of all time, arguably. But I know the Patriots are just they're past their prime, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots would be in the conversation, not officially in the running, but in the conversation for Caleb Williams because that's how bad they look.
They won't get there. They will not get Caleb Williams. They got to out tank the Bears. They got to out tank the Vikings. They got to out tank the Cardinals.
The Giants.
Yeah, they're not out tanking these. There's many. The Panthers. There's some bad teams. They're not out tanking these teams because ultimately, dude, it's still Bill Belichick, right? He will find ways to beat teams like that. Or like next week, they're beating the Raiders. I'm telling, they will beat the Raiders next week.
Now, what if they lose to the Raiders?
Now, then we got an issue. They should not lose. They should not lose to the Raiders though, because the Saints you can still make the argument. Okay, they're more talented because like the Saints still offensively, right? Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, like they're still there on offense, and defense still Cameron Jordan, Marshall Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, they're still a really good team, right? We're like when I watched the Raiders yesterday, I was just like, ugh. Like Jimmy G is just ugh. And then their defense is putrid. Like, bro, if I'm Max Crosby, I'm like, get me the hell out of here right now. Like, their defense is awful.
Yeah.
Their offense is outside of Jacobs and Devontae Adams, terrible. Like, they're hard to watch. And like Josh McDaniels going up against Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels is going to get run circles around by Bill Belichick.
Well, remember what happened last year?
I do.
When Chandler Jones just stiffed arm Mac Jones and took a defensive touchdown on the lateral. I call it the lateral collateral. When the Patriots tried to do a lateral and then it got intercepted and Mac Jones got stiff armed and then the Patriots lost.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, that will not happen this year.
Yeah. But like there's going to be storylines surrounding this game because it's not just Belichick versus McDaniel. It's also Jimmy G, the quarterback that Belichick wanted to keep, taking on the Patriots, and Robert Kraft, all that stuff. Like, it's just a big storyline around that game. And if the Patriots lose that game, we might see the end of an era sooner than we expected. But enough about that. Who's your biggest disappointment?
I'm going to agree with you, man. I'm actually going to go the New England Patriots. And it's really kind of for all the same reasons that you kind of harped on, so I'm not going to really make it that long.
Okay, fair enough. All right, now who was your week 5 standout, excuse me.
Yeah, so for me when I was deciding this, Maddie, it was between two teams for me, right? And the first team, which I'm not going to give it to, right, was the Chicago Bears. But my second team that I am going to give it to, and it was kind of difficult for me to make the decision, but it was the Detroit Lions.
I love that team
because the Detroit Lions they are the backup team this year, and I know I never said I don't believe in it, but listen, dude, Dan Campbell, they're the fighting Dan Campbell's like listen, they're a fun team to root for. I guess the reason why I picked them as my standout, dude, is because they did what good teams do. I talked about this last week, right? Like about the Bills, right? This is what you do to the bad teams. The Panthers are not good, right? And the Lions beat them bad. Like the score was 41-24. It was not that close. Like the Panthers got like 2 garbage time touchdowns. Like,
yeah,
that game was over by the third quarter. Like, and this is what good teams do. Aiden Hutchinson, that boy is crazy.
Oh my God, he's phenomenal.
No,
he's not intercepting.
That boy is filthy.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean there's that, but I don't know, dude. I think I'm gunning for the Lions this year. Like if the Jets can't do anything, listen, dude, the Detroit Lions, they're a freaking fun team to root for. So I'm going for them.
I think you, me, and Laura would all root for the Detroit Lions if any of our teams didn't make it to the playoffs.
Oh, of course.
I would have said the Detroit Lions, but after seeing the beatdown that the Dallas Cowboys took, I got to take the San Francisco 49ers. I am really high on Brock Purdy as my standout quarterback. He should be an MVP consideration. That's how good he's been. I know you're groaning because the West Coast offense and Kyle Shanahan runs.
I can't reason that, Maddie, for a quarterback that has Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. I can't. I just can't. I can't like rationalize it. I just can't do it.
Well, other than C.J. Stroud, he's the only other quarterback to not throw an interception so far this season.
Listen, I know, but it's so difficult, dude, for me to like sit there and I'm just like, this guy has literally 5 people open every play. Like, dude, when I watch them, when I watch Kyle Shanahan, like, and credit to Brock Purdy because he's making the throws, he's making the reads and stuff, right? But like, I don't know. I don't know, dude.
You want to know what my opinion is?
Difficult.
When they had Jimmy Garoppolo Garoppolo had to throw 8 pass attempts in the NFC Championship game in 2019 against the Packers. This kid is slinging it to every single play, and when he does sling it, he's accurate. I know Rex Ryan was on the Get Up one day, and I know he compared him to Joe Montana. You gotta remember, Montana had a lot of playmakers on him too. He had Jerry Rice, he had George Brett, he had a good tight end. He had Tom Rathman, he had Roger Craig, he had a lot of great talent around him. Joe Montana, and Joe Montana made it work around him. Now, was Joe Montana the best quarterback? Was he the strongest quarterback in the NFL in the '80s? No, he wasn't, but he made it work, and he was pinpoint accurate. That's what Brock Purdy is. Every time he gets the ball in his hands, you know something big is going to happen. And it's just like, it's amazing how 250 plus people went ahead of this guy.
Yeah.
I know Iowa State's not a byproduct of successful programs. I get it, but like, this is like Tom Brady 2.0. I'm serious. Because like, he's so good. So good.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't have him in fantasy, I'd recommend picking him up on waivers if he's already on there. So that's an early recommendation for you. But those are our standouts for week 5. Now it's time for our bets for week 6. And I already got a couple out of the gate based on games that we've discussed that I think are really going to be interesting. So I'm going to let Ryan say his 3 bets first, and then I'm going to give you my 3.
Okay. So
Also,
first,
before we get started, this is all based on DraftKings and Yahoo Sports. If you have a gambling addiction, please seek help. For New Jersey number, it's 609-588-5515 or 1-800-GAMBLER.
yeah. Okay. Start.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So the first game I'm going to take, Maddie, is I'm going to actually take the over on the Cincinnati Bengals Seattle Seahawks game. So the over under 45.5. I think this game is going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
The way we see the Seattle Seahawks been playing, the way we just saw the Cincinnati Bengals play. I think the Seahawks defense is not as good as we once thought. The Bengals defense is okay, but they both got really good offenses. So I'm gonna take the over there. The next game I'm gonna take is I'm gonna take the Rams minus 7.5 against the Cardinals.
Okay.
Because I do think the Cardinals are not that great, and I think the Rams are due for a bounce back game on offense. I do think they play good against I think the Rams like overall played a good game. It's just they played the Eagles, who were just outclassed them in every phase of like the game, offense, defense, like they just outclassed them. So I think that's a pretty sure game to take. And then last but not least, Maddie, I'm gonna take the over on the Chargers, Cowboys.
Fair.
I think that's gonna be another sling fest. I think Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott are gonna be absolutely slinging it. I think the Cowboys, after their awful performance against the Niners, are going to want to prove something offensively. They can score. This Chargers defense is not great. This is a Monday night game at 8:15, and it's a good one. It's a good one.
All right. So if there's one I'm going to agree with you on, I also have the Seahawks Bengals over 45.5. The reason why I go with that one is because both offenses look really good. The Bengals look like they're back. The Seahawks are a really good offense themselves. It's in Cincinnati, so I think if you're betting the Bengals money line, you probably get a good chance at winning that one. But I agree with you. Over 45.5, is just a really appealing bet to me, so I'm going to take that over. Next up, I'm going to take the Patriots Raiders under 41.5. These are 2 bad to mediocre offenses. It's a personal game. We know how Belichick likes to game plan and scheme his former coaches' assistants. We know how this goes, and I know the Patriots are going to seek redemption from what happened last year. But ultimately, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring affair. It's going to be like a 21-20 game in favor of the Raiders. So it goes under by half a point. So I got the Raiders 21-20. And then my third and final bet that I got, Kelsey or no Kelsey, I got the Chiefs minus 10.5 over the Broncos. And the reason why is because Denver is just atrocious. And the Chiefs, even without Travis Kelce, can get past the Broncos easily. So I'm going to say the Chiefs minus 10.5.
They should.
They should. All right. Now, what's the one game you're staying away from?
So that game to me, Maddie, is actually it's such a just a gross, disgusting game to me. But I don't like it for either side. And it's gonna be the Saints and the Texans because that
Okay.
to me is just like two mid teams going at it, right? Like the Texans just had a bad loss against the Atlanta Falcons. Like you
Yeah.
can't lose to the Falcons. And then the Saints just obviously blew out the New England Patriots, but like, listen, dude, that team is setting records for offensive points, like point differential, right? So I mean, I wouldn't really take much stock into the New Orleans Saints right now, but that's just the one game I am not touching. I don't like the over under at 42 and a half. I don't really like the Saints -1. Like I don't like that game either way, to be honest.
All right, so the one game I'm staying away from is the Eagles and the Jets. First off, before we even start the conversation about this, the Eagles are 13-0 or 14-0 all time against the New York Jets.
Indeed, they are.
So that's getting that out of the way. I don't like the Eagles -7 against that Jets defense. I don't like the over against these two teams. I know Zach Wilson put up 31 points, but that was mainly because the defense got a defensive score. And if I looked at the over right now, I gotta look at the over. It's something high. It's like in the 40s. Not great. So I'm not really high on the over. I know the Eagles can score, but I'm scared about Devontae Smith being put on Sauce Gardner. I'm scared about uh, Jordan Whitehead being put on AJ Brown. I'm scared about Dallas Goedert being defended by CJ Mosley.
Quincy Williams.
Or Quincy Williams. It's going to be a really hard matchup for the Eagles offense to score against. And on the other side, Zach Wilson had two good games, and Jake Butler said Eagles are Mac Daddy.
Oh, the boy.
And Jalen Hurts to the moon.
Look at this boy.
Let's show the comments. Eagles are Mac Daddy.
Of course.
Jalen Hurts to the moon. Yep, we get it.
Listen, dude, he's an Eagles fan. He's gonna glow. It's gonna happen.
Jake Butler, thank you so much for commenting. So yeah, I'm really not sold on the Eagles going off in this game. I don't think they cover 7. I know Zach Wilson had two decent performances, but I don't think it's gonna happen a third time. So I think if you're gonna go for the over or under, I'm really teetering on what to go for because you don't know what the Eagles are gonna do if they're gonna expose the Jets secondary or whether they're going to, flat out be in a grudge match against that Jets defense. And on the other side, Zach Wilson, had two decent performances, but I'm not really too sure. We love Behringer.
Yeah, of course they do, bro. I'm a king.
All right, so that's why I'm staying away from this game. Now it's time for a pick based on the spread.
Yeah.
And you know how this goes, everybody. So we pick every game based on the spread, which is how many points the team is favored by. What's first?
I didn't have a great week this week, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you had a great week?
No, I didn't actually. Not a good week.
What happened?
Got screwed by a lot of the 1:00 games, to be honest. But it's all right. We ride. So
right.
First, Denver Broncos, KC Chiefs. Thursday Night Football, Chiefs -10.5.
Okay, so the Kansas City Chiefs might not have Travis Kelce. It really depends on how he recovers from an ankle injury. I know it's the same ankle he injured before the Lions game on opening day. The Broncos are just flat out terrible. We know about this already. But I think the Chiefs are explosive enough. I think they can cover the 10.5 point spread easily. So give me the Chiefs -10.5.
I agree. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
What's next?
Next, Ravens, Titans. Ravens -3.5.
Another London game. Baltimore Ravens are coming off a bad loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Heinz Field, 17-10. Lamar Jackson did not look good. And this is a Tennessee defense that's good against the run, so maybe Lamar Jackson's going to have a little bit of a hard time. The Titans are competitive, though. They're not great, but they're competitive. They gave the Colts a run for their money last week. What's your thoughts on the NFL trying to ban the brotherly shove where Hurts does the quarterback sneak? You know what? If other teams can't do it, it's a disadvantage for other teams. So
Sucks for them.
Yeah. So, but and back to the game here for a second. I gotta go with the Ravens -3.5. I think they barely squeak it out by like 4 or 5 points, but it's gonna be a close one because Tennessee is very competitive.
I agree.
All right, what's next?
Washington Commanders, Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta -2.5.
Atlanta -2.5. I know how you feel about the Atlanta Falcons. The Commanders are coming off a beatdown by the Chicago Bears, who were inspired by Dick Butkus passing away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not as good as the Eagles. That's their problem. You must sound like a Philadelphia Eagles fan over there.
Oh, dude, no, very, very much so. He just doesn't pay attention. He can name maybe AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, and that's about it.
Okay. But so um the Commanders are underdog by 2.5. You know what? I think I'm gonna take the plus 2.5. I think I'm gonna take the points because there's something about this Atlanta team that just sounds inconsistent, and plus the Commanders are better than what they were against the Bears. So I think the Commanders are gonna bounce back and beat Atlanta.
I agree.
I pay attention with your mom.
Nah, fam.
What's next?
Next, we got the San Francisco 49ers, the Cleveland Browns, and it's the Niners minus 4.5. This is a generous.
Niners are minus.
No Watson.
Yeah, the Deshaun Watson might not play this game, so the spread might go up a little bit more. So if you're paying attention to spreads, look at this game very closely. If Deshaun Watson isn't playing, we see Dorian Thompson-Smith or
DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson, then this point spread's probably going to go up. I mentioned I've credited Brock Purdy in that San Francisco West Coast offense a lot, and I think they're gonna. I know the Browns have a good defense, but I'm pretty confident that the Brock Purdy and George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey can pick them apart. By the way, Christian McCaffrey could tie the San Francisco 49er all-time record for most consecutive games with a touchdown if he scores tomorrow on Sunday. So I'm going to go with the 49ers minus 4.5 only because it might go up from there.
Fair enough. Next, I'm going to go. It's the New Orleans Saints, Houston Texans, and it's the Saints minus 1.5.
1.5?
Yeah, I said I'm staying away from this, but.
All right, so Saints minus 1.5. This is a tough one because both teams are decent, nothing amazing, but I know the Texans are competitive this year. The Saints, they blew the brakes off the Patriots. We said this already. The Texans lost the Falcons in a critical one. You know what? I'm going to take the Saints minus 1.5. It's something about this game. I'm not really a big fan of this game either, but I'm just going to take them because I just think it's more appealing.
I don't know about that, Maddie. I think I'm looking to think I might go Houston. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm feeling the Texans, to be honest with you. Feeling CJ Stroud.
Plus 1.5?
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Carolina Panthers, Miami Dolphins. 13.5 point spread for the Miami Dolphins.
First off, Bryce Young is not off to the best of starts for his rookie year. Not good. And now you're going up against the Dolphins defense. They're good. But Tua and the Dolphins are going to explode on that Panthers defense. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going on that Panthers defense. It's not going to be pretty. Bryce Young's probably going to get sacked twice, but throw maybe 2 interceptions. That's how bad he's going to do. Yeah. And as much as I appreciate Frank Reich, the Panthers are just not up to speed right now, and I think they're probably not going to get up to speed. They're not going to go 0-17, but they're not going to do well this season. So I'm going to take the Dolphins. But 13.5, wow. I think I'm going to take that. I think I'm going to take the 13.5 points.
Yeah, I am too. I agree.
Next,
Seattle Seahawks, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals minus 2.5.
Screams over. Bengals are minus 2.5. They look like they're back. This game's in Cincinnati. If it was in Seattle, I'd probably go the other way. I know that both teams have a lot of weapons, but Jamar Chase is hard to cover for the Seattle defense. And I think Joe Burrow is back. Do you think the NFL is staged? Maybe. It could be staged, honestly, because a friend of mine actually saw that there was a script for the New York Giants this season. So maybe you're all right about that. Maybe you're on something. But oh my God. 2.5 in favor of the Bengals?
Yes, sir.
I'm probably going to take that. Actually, no. I'm going to take Seattle plus 2.5. I'm going to be different because Seattle can shock the world by going into Cincinnati and maybe pulling out stuff. Plus, Geno Smith has something to prove this year, saying that he's not too old. And I know that all these NFL quarterbacks are getting all their money's worth and maybe some are overpaid, but Geno Smith looks pretty good. And, Lockett and DK Metcalf are going to be hard to cover. So I'm going to take the Seahawks plus 2.5 here.
I agree, Maddie. You kind of stole my thunder there a little bit.
Okay, what's next?
Next, we got the Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags minus 4.5.
I think Joe is running back allowed to have.
Listen, dude, as many as they want.
As many as you want. So it's Jaguars and Colts. Jaguars minus 4.5.
Indeed.
Is it 4.5 or 3.5?
It is the Jags minus 4.5.
All right, so I got that right. 4.5 points. I can't get over that comment. All right, is this game in Jacksonville?
It is indeed.
All right, so the Colts struggle in Duval County all the time. Gardner Minshew is probably going to have a hard day. They do have Jonathan Taylor back, but I'm not really too sold on the Colts in Duval County. So I'm going to take the Jaguars minus 4.5 here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take the Jags as well.
What's
Next match, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears. Minnesota Vikings minus 2.5.
Vikings minus 2.5, even without Justin Jefferson. I mean, Justin Fields looked good against the Washington Commanders, but Justin Jefferson is not playing. If you are a fantasy owner, keep an eye on KJ Osborne. I think he's going to be the go-to guy for Minnesota while Justin Jefferson is out. Also, Jordan Addison could be good as well. So, just a couple weapons that the Vikings have. The Vikings have an explosive offense, bro. What do you do with? What are you doing with your life?
You funny, Steven. You funny.
Anyway, I really am so. The Bears look good. I don't think they're back though. If this game is Minnesota, which I think it is, I'm pretty confident that the Minnesota Vikings can steal a win here. Don't show that. Don't show that. Don't show that. Anyway, I'm gonna go with the Vikings minus 2.5 here, 1.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Vikings too.
All right, what's next?
New England Patriots, Vegas Raiders. Raiders minus 3.5.
Raiders minus 2.5.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we might see more collateral damage for Patriots fans. I'm going to go with the Raiders minus 2.5 here. I think that Devontae Adams is finally going to explode. I know he was supposed to go up against his former team on Monday night, but Jair Alexander thought otherwise. And honestly, the Raiders have more talent than the Patriots do. The Patriots are just in no man's land right now. They're in uncharted territory since 2000. They're look bad. So I'm going to take the Raiders.
Yeah. Actually, no, I'll mix it up. I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
You know the Patriots plus 2.5? Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay Bucks. Lions minus 3.5. Oh God, bro, I don't know about that.
The Oklahoma drill.
Do you not know what Oklahoma is?
I know what Oklahoma drill is.
Dude, no, yeah, no, I don't got that, dude. That's not for me.
I don't know how I would survive in that. But so I'm trying to think. What was the spread again? I'm sorry, I lost my attention.
No, it's the Lions minus 3.5.
Lions minus 2.5 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
3.5 over the Bucks.
3.5 over the Buccaneers. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. The Lions are a damn good team. I love Dan Campbell. I love this team. The defense is great. Baker Mayfield has had a decent run of success the first few weeks. They're coming off a bye, and I think I think I see something special with this Lions team. I think they're gonna blow out the Buccaneers. So I'm gonna take the Lions minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions. Love those guys.
All right. Zach Moss with Jonathan Taylor.
That's tough. You see, like JT's still working his way back. Honestly, I think for another week I'd roll Zach Moss.
Yeah, I would go Zach Moss too. Views would be through the roof if you guys started doing the Oklahoma drill live.
Yeah, but like I don't think many people want to see me running in Oklahoma, to be honest with you, Jake.
Okay. I would go Zach Moss at the moment too for one more week, and then Jonathan Taylor gets up to speed. But the Oklahoma drill, I could probably pull it off. Not gonna lie.
I'd pay to watch you do it, to be honest.
Okay. But what's the next game? I'm sorry.
LA Rams, Arizona Cardinals. LA Rams minus 6.5.
LA Rams minus 6.5. The Cardinals do not have James Conner. They're gonna have another week with Josh Dobbs. Kyler Murray should be coming back soon, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be this week. The Rams have a good offense. You got Puka Nacua on one side, Cooper Kupp on another. Like it's just explosive. So Ray Rice went to Rutgers.
Wow, that's your boy.
That's my boy.
Fair enough.
I go with the Rams here. I got the Rams minus 6.5 here.
Yeah, I would vouch.
All right, what's next?
Philadelphia Eagles, New York Jets. I just can't go with my Jets. I mean, 13 in a row. I mean, the numbers speak to how it is. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Unfortunately,
And it's minus 6.5, 7.5, correct?
6.5. Yes,
I'm gonna go with the Eagles as well. Sorry, Ryan.
it's all right, Maddie. It's all right. You New York Giants, and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills minus 14.5. And Jake, yes, we do know. We do know.
We know
Yes,
what Ray Rice did. He hurt his chick in an elevator. We know.
yes.
What was the next one?
Giants, Bills, Sunday night embarrassment, 14.5 for the Bills.
14.5. Oh my god.
All right, my boy.
Double that spread. Double it.
No
Bills
Saquon,
all the way.
no
Double it.
No Saquon, no Danny Jones, no Andrew Thomas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills. Oh,
I'm taking the Bills. Sucks, but I got taken.
Last game, Dallas Cowboys, LA Chargers. Cowboys minus 2.5.
That should be a banger of a game, not
It
gonna
should
lie.
be, but we thought Sunday night was gonna be a banger too. Look how that worked out.
Yeah, it got out of hand really quick. I'm going with the Chargers by the spread. What's the spread?
Dallas minus 2.5. You're on the Chargers.
I'm
Interesting.
taking the Chargers plus 2.5.
Interesting. I'm gonna take Dallas. I'm
Okay.
sorry to do it to you. I'm feeling them more a little bit.
Okay. All right. So that was our picks based on the spread. Do you guys like these questions? I think it's keeping it interesting. Views gonna go up like the sun. Oh, nice for Wednesday.
Of course, bro. Of course.
No, we appreciate the question. We appreciate socializing with people.
Of course.
So now we're gonna get into the quick MLB playoff bracket catastrophe is right now. And by the way, for those of you who do not know, right now in Texas it's ugly. It's the middle of the fourth inning, bomb four. The Texas Rangers are gonna sweep the Baltimore Orioles. It looks like, unless a miracle happens.
But the AL East is not going to win a playoff game. That's criminal.
Who has the hottest wife?
So that's an interesting question, but there's a lot of them out there.
There's a lot of good ones. All right. So bottom line is if you have the Baltimore Orioles winning the series, you're going to lose points. I know Ryan, Jake, Lauro, and I all had the Baltimore Orioles winning that series, so we're not going to get the points for that at all. Also, the Houston Astros beat the Minnesota Twins. Say I'm rooting for the Astros to lose that series so bad, and I don't think they're going to. And then the Atlanta Braves tied up the Philadelphia Phillies last night.
About time.
1-1 in a 4-0 comeback win. They won 5-4. And then the Dodgers. Oh my goodness, the Dodgers are getting overwhelmed by the Diamondbacks. They're getting overwhelmed by what about the hottest mistress?
This guy, bro.
This guy, Jake Butler's he's a card. He's a card. You know what? I'll total points. So it's 4 Jake, 4 Ryan, 2 me, Lauro 1.
Yeah, not great.
And the only reason why Ryan is tied is because he had the Diamondbacks winning against the Brewers.
Oh yeah.
And you got that right. Yeah, you hit them right on the head. But
over here in trash Brewers. Hell out of here.
So now what's going to happen is, if for some godforsaken reason, if all 4 of the top teams are eliminated in the second round of the playoffs, we're going to have a tiebreaker between Jake and Ryan. And what that tiebreaker is going to be a trivia. And what that trivia is going to be is going to be based on all postseason statistics.
Oh yeah.
That I'm going to compose myself.
Oh yikers.
And Brandon Scotty, how you doing?
Hell, Brando.
Welcome. Don't show it. Bottom line is, Ryan, you're looking really good right now. And
Wow, man. No.
Big D, how you doing, Big D?
Yo, what's good, Brandon?
So
Yo, Brandon,
a lot of viewership today. This is great. But as far as the whole baseball conversation goes, I'm pretty much looking at it. The only game I got right was the Phils over the Marlins in 2 games. That was very, very easy. And I really don't know. I want Ryan to win so bad because for those of you who don't know the stipulations about what's going to happen for whoever wins, Ryan, if he wins, I was gonna take him for a night out.
Oh, of course.
I was taking him for a night out. I'm gonna pay him for
Free,
it.
free booze do nothing better.
How heavy is a baseball or how light is a baseball? A baseball.
The internet. Google search.
He's lost subscribers.
Oh, rip.
Well, since the baseball playoffs, nobody cares because we are Yankee fans, unfortunately. Yep, that is right, Big D.
Salty people.
That's right, Big D. I really am. I want Ryan to win so bad because I don't want Jake to win. Because for those of you who don't know, if Jake wins the baseball playoff bracket challenge, Ryan, I have to wear Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve jerseys on the air.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. I'm not buying an Astros jersey.
Like I said, I'm buying one for you. So
Listen, bro.
I'm buying one for you. But yeah, the upsets in baseball playoffs. I mean, the Orioles are going to get creamed in Texas right now. They're down 6-0. And the way the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers in the first game is kind of shocking because, I didn't expect that to happen. It was just very, very surprising, especially because the Dodgers. Oh, I wish Loro was on here because I needed to talk to him about something, and I want you to fill the gap into this. I said to Loro that if the Dodgers lose this series to the Diamondbacks, Dave Roberts loses his job because, and I don't know who's calling.
No, that's my bad. You're good.
All right. So, if the Diamondbacks win this series, I think Dave Roberts should get fired. And the reason why Dave Roberts should get fired is because the Dodgers have collapsed in the postseason way too many times, and I'm just very, very fed up with seeing the Dodgers lose round 1 or 2 in the postseason and then just have Dave Roberts continue his job. And I know Laura would defend Dave Roberts to the moon and say, oh, well, the Dodgers have had some bad postseason luck. Listen, you've lost to the Mets. You've lost to the Cubs. You've lost to the Washington Nationals. You've lost to the Padres. You've lost to the Braves. And now you're going to lose to the Diamondbacks? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And Dave Roberts should be ashamed of himself because he didn't get his team ready. Now, if the Diamondbacks come collapse, then that it is what it is. But I'm just very, very fed up with seeing everything about Loro defending the Dodgers to the moon and having them not execute, and having all the excuses. Like, I'm done with excuses. I really am, because this is a team that wins 100 games every year, and they never ever do. I'm proud of Dave. I disagree. I mean, so what are you going to say? Are you going to say the one World Series that they won?
No, he has no idea. He has no idea who Dave Roberts is. He has no idea.
Well, Dave Roberts, the one season that the Dodgers won the World Series was in the 60-game COVID season, and everyone's putting an asterisk next to that season because it's like, oh, well, it's not even 40% of a season. It really shouldn't be counted, and it shouldn't be counted.
No, of course not.
It really shouldn't be counted. And you know what? For the sake of everything, I hope the Dodgers lose that series. Yeah, tell Behringer invite me to the pod.
No, maybe next week, Jake. Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. But Ryan, how do you feel about this whole Dave Roberts thing? Because I'm kind of over the defending him and all that stuff. I'm really just tired of it.
Listen, dude, it's gonna happen. I mean, Dave Roberts, he's a good manager, right? But he's not elite. So we'll see how the Dodgers are. I mean, I've kind of been on the record saying the Dodgers are good because they have two good players, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. I mean, the rest of their team, they got old J.D. Martinez, old Jason Hayward. I mean, old Clayton Kershaw. Like, it is what it is. Yes, Jake. Dave Roberts. What a man.
Italian singer-songwriter. Oh, my God. But like I said before, you can't really defend a guy who's had so many postseason exits to so many teams in his conference. It's not acceptable. And, the Orioles look like they're on their way out, which is unfortunate because they really do deserve so much better. I mean, I know they were young, but this is maybe going to be a learning experience for them. But the Texas Rangers played some really good ball. So that should pretty much do it because we're over an hour in. So now it's time to get into our sponsors. So, Siriani Sports is sponsored by the following: Outback Steakhouse in Middletown, Aussie Rules. Then we got Balance Enterprise, building products for success. DAS Technology Consulting, simplifying technology. Jag One Physical Therapy, official therapy provider for the teams you love, The Grace Foundation of New York, support, empower, educate, enhance. Integrated Planning Group, client-focused, advice-driven. And by Rocco's Original Italian Ice, a sweet summertime treat all year round. So now before we end the show, I have a family announcement, and this is going out to Vivian and James Sorrentino, my mom's parents.
Oh, thanks.
They recently added a new member to the family, and that member's name is Josie. So Josie, for those of you who don't know, is a dog. She is. I'm trying to look at the brand, at the breed here. I'm in a big old chat with a bunch of people. So Josie is a. Phone just keeps going off. Is a Coton de Tulare. I think it's French. But Josie was a beautiful dog. Sam and I met the dog recently, earlier today, and it was very, very cute. I'm so glad we met. I'm so glad that my grandparents invested in this dog. It was just a very, very kind investment. I mean, I didn't think my grandparents were going to get a dog, but they did, and she's just so nice and such a sweetheart of a dog. And for those of you who don't know what the dog looks like, this is her. This is her, Josie Sorrentino.
Dog.
So, Vivian and James Sorrentino, congratulations to you. On a great dog. And now, how can we sponsor? It really depends on what business you run.
Listen, dude. Jake's got the connections.
He's got connections. Okay, so, all right, so yeah, we'll have a talk about this, Jake, when you come on the show next week, if possible. But for those of you who are wondering how you can find us, you can find us on the following: Instagram at Siriani Sports, on YouTube at Siriani Sports, on Twitter at Siriani Sports, and on Facebook at Siriani Sports. So those are our 4 outlets, and we're on every single Tuesday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. I know today we got on a little bit late because we had, again, meeting Josie. But, it was all well and good. And I'm glad that we have a new member of the family. But anyways, from Ryan Rivera Jr., I'm Matt Siriani. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to tonight's episode. We greatly appreciate your support, and we appreciate the socializing in the chat today. It was really, really awesome. And, until next time, Loro should be back, and Jake Cardinelli should be back soon, too, depending on how the bracket challenge goes. And I'm hoping the Astros lose, and I'm hoping that all 4 of the top teams lose because I want there to be a tie. And that way Jake and Brian can battle it out. But anyways, God bless you all. Have a good night. Take care. And, of course, peace out.
Good night, everyone.